And so again, the relationship is not unlike Aunt Jemima, but it is more like the mainstream celebrity where you get 2 for 1. And he showed that white people would buy the product. He put pudding pops on, which is kind of a silly product when you think about it, on the map. So he will lead in white viewers as well. And that was an amazing thing to happen, and he did it. Can you do the pudding pop, and then we'll
do which one?
Do the pudding pop. He's in a different persona.
This here?
This one. Do the
this one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I'm moving around.
Wake up in the AM, I need pudding in my hand. Gotta make it fresh, there's no pudding in a can. Will it be a pudding pop, maybe a cup of yellow? If I don't eat some soup, I'll be a grumpy fellow. Pudding pop's my only vice. Pudding pops with beans and rice. Pudding pops right.
Is that Bill Cosby?
No. Pudding pops.
No.
I think it's a takeoff or something.
Yeah, I think.
Oh.
I think someone put this together.
Yeah, it's a.
But you're seeing him doing the dances that he did. Bill Cosby actually can dance. The man can dance. But you can, in his persona, he couldn't dance. So I guess we'll let it go for the sake of the video.
I think there is one more that we didn't see.
This must be an early one. He looks young now.
Because it's made with real pudding.
New, rich, creamy-tasting Jell-O Grand Pudding Pops. All the goodness of real Jell-O pudding frozen on a stick.
Delicious! It won't strike out with Mom.
And notice they're having to explain the product. And later they don't have to do that.
This maybe was one of the earlier
ads. Right. They're having to tell you exactly what it is.
But one thing I sort of notice is in a couple of them, he seems to be interacting more with the white kid than the black kid, or maybe that there was an Asian child.
Because they don't have to interact with the black kid to pull in the black audience. They've already got the black audience at this point. It's starting to dissipate, but it's still a truism that you throw a black face on there, black people it's much more relevant, it's much more salient, and they will watch and they will become engaged. It's the rest of the audience you have to pull in.
I found this out. Let me just throw this in because I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Let's see. Oh, this one. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's for a furniture store somewhere.
It's in North Carolina.
Huh? Is it loading still? Or?
Can't we all just get along?
At the Red House Furniture,
We can.
At the Red House.
I'm Richard, aka Big Head. I work at the Red House and I'm black. I like pumping iron and pumping furniture into people's homes.
He gets to touch a white
one. AKA 10 gauge. I work at the Red House and I'm white. I like deer hunting, bass fishing, and extending credit to all people. I'm black and I love the Red House.
I'm white and I love the Red House.
I'm a black woman and I love the Red House.
I am white and the Red House is for me.
At the Red House.
Look at the sofa. It's perfect for a black person or a white person.
This mattress is perfect for a white person or a black person.
At the Red House, where black people and white people buy furniture.
And Hispanic people too.
Okay. Where in North Carolina?
I don't know.
High Point.
High Point.
High Point. We're all
So have you seen that before?
I've seen that before.
Or
yeah.
something like it?
Are you from North Carolina?
No, but I know
Okay.
somebody that is.
Oh, okay. I'm from Asheville, which is the liberal part of North Carolina. And you want to know what I make of it?
I just thought it was fascinating.
Do you know what year? Is it current?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a couple of years now.
Okay. Obviously, High Point is the furniture capital of the country, and how do you stand out in High Point where there's furniture, stores all over the place? North Carolina is different. I don't know if anybody's here from South Carolina or Virginia, but North Carolina perceives itself as being more liberal than the rest of the South, and many people in the rest of the South see North Carolina as being more progressive. But that doesn't mean that they didn't elect Jesse Helms for generations and generations. So clearly race is an issue in North Carolina. I think this is simply an attempt to stand out. It's also an example of why owners and employees shouldn't do their own ads. It's like, where'd they get those singers? And I think, in a way, it is a nice message of racial unity. Even inside, there were some stereotypes, because the black man gets the pump iron, he's the physical man, and the white man gets to handle the money, he's the credit guy. And the black woman who's standing there saying, I'm a black, sitting in the rocking chair, did anybody notice what the picture next to her?
It was like an African.
Yeah, it's just giraffes and animal prints, and so there's some stereotyping even in there, but clearly they're breaking some too, because where the black man touches the white woman's hand, obviously not in a romantic way, but remember that ad that was it North Carolina, Tennessee, where they simply had a black hand touching a white woman's hand, and it was used as a political campaign, basically, and it worked. So I think one is, it is breaking ground, but two, this is funny. So I wonder who they're actually selling ads to, furniture to, because this, either middle class or anticipatorily middle class, you are, whether you identify that way or not, chuckled. And I wonder where the humor response is geared toward.
I just thought it was interesting because they so use race as a way of selling the furniture.
They don't talk about the furniture at all.
Yeah, it's the sort of message, we're egalitarian and but it was such an obvious race message.
Right.
It was interesting.
Well, and I think one of the ways in which race works in many places, not just in the South now, and which is one of the reasons I asked, is that you don't talk about it. It's not allowed in polite society to pull race out, not just racism, but race. And so they're breaking a taboo by saying, if I didn't walk in and say, I'm Sheri Parks and I'm a black woman, and nobody here has said it, and on the web that if you identify yourself by race, people will say, there are actually studies that say this, people will say, I get to say I'm a woman, I get to say I'm this, I get to say that, but if I say I'm black, unless I'm on a black site, people will say, why are you bringing up race? So they're now breaking the new middle class taboo. But notice they're depicted as working class people who are breaking the dress, was working class. Even with the tie, that was not a middle class or upper middle class suit. And so I wonder if we're breaking the taboo and laughing at social class in the same moment. Because we don't know enough about the furniture to know what social class are actually. That sofa, the white maybe leather sofa, looked pretty middle class, but I'm not sure of the rest of the furniture. The mattress was pretty nondescript. But underneath there is, and this is really important for you to understand, that ads can provoke change in attitudes. That's what they're designed for. They can provoke change in attitudes along the way. So the idea that, I guess the couch doesn't care who sits on it, is an interesting message. That black people and white people can buy from the same stores, which actually doesn't happen as much as you think. The resegregation of America often means that you are not in the same spaces as consumers.
And there was one point in our reading from this week, I think, that said marketers, when they put a black model into an ad, it's almost seen as permission to buy that product.
By black people?
By black people, yeah.
Well, it is by that.
For you.
We welcome you.
We will sell it to you.
It is the same as the we speak Spanish sign at car dealerships. It's saying we will smile at you when you come in the door. That's being ill-treated by. It's almost a truism. When I moved to this area and I